Russia's military readied its army for bombers, but was defeated by an ant with Wi-Fi at 3:14 local time. From the command bunker on Mount Ipetri, radar operator Dmitry scans a dead sky. His mission is critical. He guards the Black Sea's blind spot. Then, a contact. Dmitry leans into the glow of the screen. It is not a fighter, not a missile. It is an impossible echo. A question for war analysis. Too small, too slow. It registers as ground clutter. But clutter doesn't fly a direct attack vector. His voice, tight with protocol, cuts the silence. Unidentified contact. His thumb finds the fire control. 5 missiles, a fortune in precision engineering, are now armed. They scream into the darkness. 200 kilometers away, the screen of the drone's operator flashes to life. It is not an explosion. It is the incandescent burn of missile engines racing toward him. The thermal camera image whites out from the glare. In the bunker, Dmitry waits for the kill confirmation. It does not come. The echo is still there, unflinching, skimming the waves, a failure of their advanced defense systems. Frustration hardens into panic. An operator inside a Pantsir zone, one of the elite troops, a $15 million masterpiece of Russian point defense, slams his console. His missiles failed. Now, his weapons are hot. Its 30mm cannons spit tracers in a desperate fan, painting a beautiful, completely useless pattern of light against the night. The rounds are not even close. The operator is baffled. This is not some Soviet-era scrap. This is modern warfare. This is the primary weapon designed to shield Russia's most critical military installations. Unfortunately, the training manual has no chapter on how to combat something that appears to be made from parts you could buy online, costing less than a single tire on the truck that carries the Pantsir. But these drones are playing by new rules. The problem is simple physics, a core of military strategy. The Pantsir's radar measures radial velocity, how fast a target moves toward or away from its Navy position. The Ukrainian drone flies laterally, crossing the beam at a constant altitude. By doing this, its radial velocity drops to nearly zero. To the computer, a zero-velocity target is not a threat. It is a tree. It is a hill. It is ground clutter. And the system is designed by the Air Force explicitly to filter and ignore such clutter to prevent false alarms. But the system has a second problem. Radar waves reflect off the sea, creating a phantom image, an electronic mirage just below the real drone. The confused computer averages the two echoes, firing its missiles into the empty air between them. Even if it scored a hit, the missile's proximity fuse requires a target the size of a bicycle to arm. This drone is 10 times smaller. In Dmitry's bunker, the reality of this global conflict sets in. The calm is broken. The radar display, once a single contact, now blooms into a deadly plague of 7 targets. 12, 15 ghosts. Multiple vectors, Dmitry screams into the mic, his voice cracking. "I cannot lock them," the Pantsir operator yells as the camera pulls back. It reveals the terrifying genius of this new warfare. They are not in a military formation that would trigger alarms. They fly scattered at an altitude of 50 meters, staying below the main radar horizon. Each of the drones holds an exact separation of 900 meters. Enough to appear as a random echo, but close enough to form a network. The map reveals the truth of their military strategy. All of their paths, seemingly random across a 12-kilometer front, are programmed to converge at the exact same second. And at the same location, the Army's radar dome complex atop Mount Ipetri. In the bunker, Dmitry understands. He is not defending against an attack. He is in the center of an ambush. The lead drone's thermal camera is fixed on its objective. Less than 800 meters out, the gigantic white domes of Mount Ipetri fill its vision, a flashpoint in a global conflict. These domes are fiberglass skulls, protecting Russia's most expensive defense technology. The eyes that watch the entire Black Sea. A display of raw military power. The operator, hundreds of kilometers away, aligns the impact point. Suddenly, a howl tears through the night. Before the operator can react, the drone's camera is blinded by the arrival of the Air Force, saturated by a heat that shouldn't be there. A point of incandescent white light falls from the sky, the engines of a fighter jet at full power. In Dmitri's bunker, there is a collective sigh of relief. They have sent the cavalry, a Sukhoi Su-30 SM. Russia's answer to the 15. It roars at 6,000 meters. The pilot is one of their most elite soldiers. He activates his Bars-M radar, a multi-million-dollar system. These weapons are designed to detect and destroy stealth fighters at 120 kilometers. He is hunting for a missile, a bomber, a worthy threat in this brutal war. He does not know he is hunting a ghost. He is hunting a lion, but is about to be humiliated by an ant. Inside the glass cockpit of the Su-30, the troops brace. The pilot curses. He is in a 30-degree dive, but his Bars-M radar, a marvel of modern warfare, is showing him garbage. He sees contacts, but they flicker like fireflies in the dark. They appear on one radar sweep and disappear on the next. A frustrating military update. The problem is the track file. The fighter's computer is not foolish. To avoid firing on a ghost, a tactic the Navy and Marines know well, it needs to see a target 5 consecutive times. Only then can it confirm reality, calculate speed, and predict location. But the drone is too small. Its radar signature is minuscule, perhaps 0.01 square meters, smaller than a seagull. The Bars-M defense systems are designed to ignore such small echoes. It is like trying to hear a whisper in a rock concert. The drone's echo is a small peak that barely crosses the line of noise. It is there for an instant, before sinking back into the static. On the pilot's display, the computer desperately tries to create a file. Contact, sweep 2, sweep 3, and then track lost. The count resets. The pilot growls, disengaging the radar's safeties. To hell with this, he mutters. He switches to his R-73 heat-seeking missiles, his most trusted modern weapons. He has a faint thermal signature on his display. It is enough. He squeezes the trigger, firing blind. The R-73 is built to hunt a jet engine's 1,000-degree inferno, a standard for the Air Force. The drone's motor is 50 degrees, barely warmer than a laptop. To the missile seeker, a marvel of defense technology, the drone is a thermal ghost. The drone's camera records it all. The missile closes in, searching, and then it veers sharply away, hunting for a heat that isn't there. The pilot is furious. His sensors are useless. He decides to trust his eyes, firing a second R-73 missile, a key military weapon, hoping the seeker locks onto something. Anything. The missile screams past. It fails to detonate. The pilot doesn't understand it, but the physics of this warfare are simple. He is trying to swat a fly with a missile designed to kill dragons. The R-73 is a 40G weapon, but its minimum turn radius at Mach 2.5 is over 600 meters. The drone is just too close. By the time the missile sees the target, it's already too late to turn. Desperate, the pilot does the only thing left for his troops. He engages the GSH-30 cannon. The fighter's fire control computer calculates a perfect kill solution, a staple of modern warfare, assuming the drone flies straight. But the drone does not. Every few seconds, its operator gives it a small, random jink. 2 or 3 meters left or right. By the time the shells travel 1 kilometer to the target, that tiny twitch has become a 9-meter miss. The pilot is firing where the drone was a second ago, not where it is now. It is a total humiliation. High above the Su-30 pilot banks for home, his fuel gauge blinking red, a blow to his nation's military power. He has spent 77 million rubles on missiles and hundreds of cannon shells to achieve nothing. 0 hits. He reports to control, his voice tight with rage, returning to base. Grim military news. But as the Skyrider withdraws, the ant reaches its destination. The lead drone ignores the giant domes. Its primary target is uglier, but infinitely more important to their military strategy. The 96 L6E radar, truck-mounted, known to NATO as the cheese board. This is not an eye. It is the orchestra's conductor, the brain that can track 100 targets at once, a vital tool for war analysis, and tell each S-400 battery precisely where to fire. And like its namesake, the cheese board was about to be sliced to pieces. The shaped charge detonates a jet of molten copper moving at 8 kilometers per second. It punches through the antenna's core. The delicate circuitry melts in a fraction of a second. The orchestra has just lost its conductor. The S-400s are now blind. This is the new face of war. The Su-30 pilot has barely turned for base when his threat display lights up again. But this is impossible. The new echoes are not coming from the stratosphere. Dozens of low-flying contacts just 10 kilometers offshore, appearing from nowhere. In Dmitri's bunker, he sees the same. His blood runs cold. A global conflict unfolds. This is not a system error. The attack wasn't coming from Ukraine, not from their army. It was being born from the Black Sea. Hidden in darkness, Magura V5 boats, perhaps crewed by Marines, revealed their true purpose for the Navy. They weren't the munition, they were the platform. Their rails carried more FPV drones, truly modern weapons, poised to join the assault. How could Magura V5 boats, loaded with drones, wait for 2 hours, completely unseen? They didn't use stealth, they used the simplest physics. Even ballistic missiles in space. But it has a design flaw, a product of its own altitude, sitting at 1,300 meters. Its minimum depression angle is 2 degrees. It physically cannot tilt its beam any lower. At 10 kilometers from the coast, this creates a vast shadow cone. The radar is blind to anything below 43 meters in altitude. They were on an invisible highway. And just as they see the cheeseburger's detonation on the mountain, but this leaves an impossible question. FPV drones have a notoriously short radio range. How are they being controlled dozens of kilometers offshore in enemy territory? Strategically positioned 10 to 20 kilometers off the Crimean coast, each equipped with a Starlink uplink and high-power radios. An operator in a secure bunker sends the commands. The relay boat receives them and translates them into a short-range radio signal for the drone. The drone's video feed makes the return trip. We're essentially telecommuting to the battlefield, delivering destruction with the latency of a video call. With the first light of dawn, the sea revealed the rest of the fleet. The software automatically filtered out anything moving under 20 knots, classifying it as civilian traffic. The Maguras had deliberately cruised at 10 knots, appearing as fishing vessels on the screens. They weren't hidden, they were ignored by design. They scattered like startled birds, each taking a seemingly random route, all programmed to converge on the domes at the exact same instant. The first drone from the new swarm reached the dome's base. But they forgot the service door, the ground-level emergency access panels, against a shaped charge weapon concentrating 2 million psi on a single point. That reinforced steel was as useless as the foil at the top of the dome. The Nebo radar awoke late. Its antenna spun, searching for an enemy that was already inside. A flash cut the air. The circuits powering Russia's southern defense network overloaded. The electrical surge spread like liquid fire. Display panels flashed critical red. then blinding white before everything went dark. Without the Nebo, the S-400s were left blind beyond the horizon. What was once an electronic fortress of modern warfare was now a mountain burning in silence. The podlet cone was next to fall. A flash of orange tore through the sky. Its primary antenna cracked in half, the radar that monitored the low-altitude routes into Crimea. It fell silent, and with it, the entire early warning network. The southern skies had gone completely blind. A few kilometers away, a BK-6